Hi, and welcome to my first ever audio commentary. My name is Andrew. I'm just going to take a minute to introduce myself and then we'll get into the game. But I play under the name Spaceman Spiff, which is a Calvin and Hobbes reference for those of you not familiar. And I love Warcraft 3. I bought Reign of Chaos on the day it released. I bought The Frozen Throne on the day it released. And it's my favorite game of all time. I definitely have more hours spent in Warcraft 3 than any other game. I've been involved or followed the competitive scene for years and years. I love everything about Warcraft 3. And so, although I did take a break and I played StarCraft 2 for a while, I played a lot of Heart of the Swarm. I have kind of drifted away from StarCraft and come back to Warcraft. I don't play a ton. I'm definitely not a competitive level player. You know, compared to a lot of people out there, I'm probably not even a good player. But I do have a very good understanding of the game and I have a lot of fun playing. So I thought I wanted to get involved because I saw Warcraft. It looks like Warcraft is making a bit of a resurgence thanks to the community and thanks to people or the efforts of people like Back to Warcraft, which are incredible, right? I love that this game is coming back, and I thought it would be amazing to be a part of that and try and get involved because I love the game and I love the community and I want to be playing Warcraft for the rest of my life. And as long as there's a community out there to support it, that will be possible. So here I am. I decided to try and cast a couple games and try and fill maybe what might be a bit of a niche in the market. Um, I play. We're going to dive in and I'll introduce myself a little as we load up. But I play exclusively random. I play on BattleNet, so I'm not a Warcraft arena player. And I try to do a lot of outside the box strategies. This is not because I have anything against the cookie cutter strategies. This is nothing because I'm trying to make a point. It's just I prefer to play, be a little out there and try and catch people off guard with something they weren't expecting. So that's how every game on this account has been played. That's how I play the game. I have 55 to 60% win percentage, couple hundred, maybe 200 wins. So I'm doing all right. I'm not a pro, so if you're looking for a professional level replay, you're looking at the wrong game, and I suggest you go elsewhere. But I think this one's going to be fun, and hopefully the community will agree with me, or at least some people will. Yeah. So further, I'm going to talk a bit more about my game. I definitely am weak as far as micro goes. I don't have the best micro out there. I don't have the best macro out there. But what I do lack there, I think I make up for in understanding of the game and decision making. I think a lot of my wins come from catching my opponent off guard, like I was saying, or just good solid fundamentals, if that makes sense. Either way, here I'm undead. I don't know that he's human yet. I think I'm just about to pass yes. So I just learned that he's human. He was also playing random. So that means a couple things to me. I don't like playing against human. I find as undead, I have a really hard time beating human as undead. So I'm already like, and then I come in here and I see a scout tower, which means to me he's probably going to try and fast expo. I might be wrong. That might be the wrong assumption, but that's when I see that, it means he's going to be leaving his, or he wants to be able to leave his base undefended, because an arcane tower will be able to prevent a death knight and will be able to prevent skeletons from causing any damage, even if his hero and his militia are off creeping elsewhere. So I already have decided I'm going aggressive. I want to all in this guy. I'm going to try and beat him before he's able to get that expo up. What what are ways to do that? He's expecting a Death Knight and Fiends. He's seen the build. That's what it looks like. He's expecting it. I want to play to catch him off guard because I don't want to play into what he's expecting because he's better than me when it comes to straight up micro, probably. So what I've done is decided to go dual crypt, already ridiculous, I know, and a crypt lord. So you can see what I mean by all of it. Every bit of gold is going to this. If this push does not work, then I'm not going to be able to win this game. I sent 3 ghouls out. Seems ridiculous as a scout, but I wanted to, in the event that he was creeping his expansion or creeping here, I wanted to be able to catch some of his militia maybe or cause some damage there. Just hopefully slow him down a little bit, right? Unfortunately, he was just keep creeping the green camp, and I wasn't able to do anything. And ultimately, by sending 3 ghouls, I lost out on a lot of lumber income. But I don't think that's a huge loss because this strategy is not going to require a whole lot of lumber, right? I'm pumping ghouls from 2 crypts. I'm going to leave 1 or 2 ghouls on wood as I take the push, just to keep some income coming. But there's really not a demand for wood here. You're going to see I'll sell my teleport. I'm going to buy a Rod of Necromancy, and I'm going to buy a Sacrificial Skull because we are going to tower rush the human player. So I'm bringing everything now. I've got my Crypt Lord with 5 Carrion Beetles and a Rod of Necromancy, so I'm going to be able to spawn from bodies for days. I've got a terrible base layout, but hopefully that won't matter because the entire game is going to be fought in his base, right? If at any point I have to return to my base, the game's probably lost. That's another reason you can sell the teleport. If it's going to devolve to the point where I have to teleport out of my own tower rush, then I am probably losing this game, so I decided to sell it to get that extra little edge for the push. Coming in, he's just got the 1 Arcane Tower, he's throwing up a second, and he's teching, so he probably hasn't expanded, which is a good sign for me. And my Acolyte's a bit far behind, but I'm going to have time to set up my two Zigs. I did not go in over the or commit down here because I didn't want to be caught by a bad teleport. I wanted to just force a fight out here, and that's what happened. We see I've got he's got 5 footmen, which really means to me that I can afford to trade. If I can just trade blows, I've got a vastly superior army as far as numbers go, at least, and I can resurrect the dead in 2 different ways, right? So if I can just draw a long fight, trade well, get my ziggurats up, I'm in a pretty good spot. I don't know why. I'm very surprised he did not call to arms with at least his lumber peasants. That's a huge mistake and would have made this push way more difficult. But by not doing that, he allowed me to move in and take his tower. Had he called to arms, I would have had to stay back here by mine and use like positioning in this line or something. But by not calling to arms, he allowed me to move in and take out his guard tower before it came up. And even allows me to start trading here, which isn't that dangerous, I don't think, because besides my Crypt Lord, everyone has an easy path out of here. Ghouls and skeletons are not stuck in a human base, and I think I'm able to outmaneuver this guy to get out of there. Keep in mind, this is not a professional level game, and I'm sure Grubby or other top tier players would not be making the same decisions as me. So yeah, I'm getting a Spirit Tower. I'm late on getting the Nerubian, but I have ghouls pumping from two crypts, and money's a little tight right now. Either way, I was able to take down both towers, which is still huge. I pick off another peasant there, and I'm going to pull out. He's hit level 3, which is not ideal. Those level 2 water elementals are a lot of trouble for a Crypt Lord. Like the level 1 beetles do not contend with those water elementals at all. They melt ghouls. But I've got a Spirit Tower up, and he really doesn't have any means of dealing with that, right? He just has to take the damage or straight up attack it with his melee, which is probably not a good idea at this point. So he's trading off with me. He doesn't have defend, and it's going pretty well. Look at these numbers. I'm going to lose the battle ultimately, like the army will lose to the militia, but he has no income where I have regular income coming right now, and he's committing everything. I think a big mistake on my part is only having the 1 Acolyte. I should have 2, so that I can repair this faster, and that if 1 died, I'm able to continue repairing or build another Ziggurat if I need to. Unfortunately, I only had the 1, and that went down, and that's going to hurt me, because now I'm down to just a Nerubian, which is great, but definitely not as strong, not as substantial here. So he's starting to switch, and it's 3 Footmen and a level 3 Archmage against a couple summons and a Crypt Lord, right? The difference, he only has 3 peasants. The push overwhelmed him, and I think at this point it's pretty safe to say I get to walk away with the game. So humans, I feel, are really tough for undead to deal with a lot of the time. I feel like when that expo goes up, I just as far as regular players go, I'm not making a comment in terms of balance or anything, but human towers, especially as undead, can be really tricky to deal with, right? And for the most part, I lose when I deal with that, and so I like to try things like this, and that's what I kind of want to showcase in what my commentaries are going to be. It's outside the box play and show that you don't always have to go the same thing. There is still the potential to win games and play strategies that you don't see at the top level, as long as you're not against top tier players, right? So yeah, this is a game. I guess I should have been talking. The Archmage went down. He's got nothing left. He leaves the game and it's over. Yeah, so that's a style of commentary you're going to get from me. I hope you enjoyed it. If not, let me know. Constructive criticism is of course welcome. I want to get better at this. I I'm I intend to. So I'm going to release another one shortly, and I look forward to hearing back. Thanks a lot.